Hey everyone, I'm Veronica Garza. Very excited to be here, and I'm just gonna start right now. Like, unless you've been sleeping in a womb, you are one of millions of people pissed as fuck at the Supreme Court's recent reversal of Roe v. Wade earlier this summer, right? You know Roe v. Wade, the ruling that allowed a woman the right to an abortion, the act of terminating a pregnancy, thus preventing any future asshole baby from ruining brunch. You know? Seriously, like, why do y'all bring babies to brunch? Like, stop it, okay? They're called mimosas, not mimosas, you know? And I no longer drink alcohol because those are the type of jokes I wrote about alcohol, okay? I'm sorry. And anyway, I know some of you here know me and you're like, Veronica, like, what qualifies you to talk about abortions? You're a lesbian. This isn't really your problem, you know? And let me think. First, as a lesbian, I care about all women, even the ugly ones, which is like why I'm even talking about this. All women, but like ugly bitches especially, should have the right to terminate their pregnancy. All right? Not all kids are cute, especially those with ugly parents, okay? And BuzzFeed said it was okay to talk about this, so it's true, right? Secondly, I'm from Dallas, Texas, and Roe versus Wade is a Dallas case. People don't know that. And 14 years ago, when I lived in Dallas, I lived down the street from my parents in Uptown. And aside from the fact that that was a loser move, living right near my parents, one day my mom informed me that the building across from my apartment was an abortion clinic. And I had no idea. And then she told me they performed over 30 abortions there daily. I had no idea. And then she asked if I thought it was sad, and it was sad. I was driving 30 minutes across town to get my abortions. When I could have hopped, skipped, or jumped across the street to terminate that shit. What the hell, you know? And as a lesbian, like, every time I fuck a woman, my intention is to get her pregnant. And if I ever get a woman pregnant, she should definitely have the option to terminate that baby. It is her choice if she wants to have that baby, but honestly, I suggest she don't. And lastly, many, many, many people have called my comedy an abortion. What's it all? And like, okay, so to be fair, like, we knew this was coming. On May 2nd, Politico published a leaked draft of the Supreme Court majority decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization that would explicitly overturn Roe versus Wade. Jerk-off Alito writes, "Our opinion is not based on any view about if and when prenatal life is entitled to any of the rights enjoyed after birth. The dissent, by contrast, would impose on a people a particular theory about when the rights of personhood begin." And like, that's exactly it. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. When does a human life begin, all right? And I'm 38, and I still don't think life has begun for me, you know? What do you call that? Like, it's a problem, a cry for help, proof of how expensive it is to live in New York City. Like, we just don't know. And now I will tell you this, I read an extensive amount of articles written by men explaining how one might determine what a fetus is. And let's be honest, men never take the chance to explain something, so that does not affect them. So here are some of the arguments I found. First, the fetus is a part of a mother's body. Let me be the first to say, like, pregnant women are hot. They know how to fuck, you know? And also, if you think about it, okay, if a fetus is part of a mother's body, then it will be there forever. And now imagine you being pregnant, walking around with an umbilical cord attached to your 32-year-old son who was $200K in student debt because he wanted to major in Celtic languages. You know? And it's like, his debt is your debt now, so like, cut him off. His debt is not your debt, and please don't like co-sign any loan, please. He won't use that degree, is all I'm saying. Second argument, and there are only three, but the second argument is the fetus is not part of a mother's body, but it is an individual of another species. And that sounds fucking cool, you know? You know, if you are giving birth to another species, like, no one's gonna abort that, you know? You're not. You're gonna create a TikTok account, like, you're gonna fucking get them hits. Like, I made that, you know? It's not human, but that's my baby. Lastly, the last argument they say is the fetus is not any type of living thing. It's just a clump of biological molecules undergoing chemical reactions. And you know what? I actually really like, I think this would make sense. I like this one. And even when heterosexuals have unprotected sex, gag, you know, a sperm meets the egg, and that one product just like sits there like an audience, perhaps after hearing Jonathan's set. It has no response. I did that because I love him. Simply put, embryos have no capacity for sentience or consciousness, right? And you know what consciousness is, right? Like the thing Brett Kavanaugh, the thing the women Brett Kavanaugh fucked in college. They lacked. Fuck you. So like if you think about it, okay, there's the embryo, but now we think about a late-term fetus. However, that has the basic capacities for processing stimuli from an external world. And if this is true, at least 4 women I've dated in the last year are 35-year-old early-stage embryos. And I'm just kidding about that because we know I won't date anyone over 33. So yeah, and I think it's interesting because like in response to this, women have already started exercising this idea that the fetus is alive to their advantage. For instance, when an officer pulled Brandy Batone over for driving by herself in an HOV lane in Texas, she pointed to her pregnant belly and told him her unborn daughter now counts as a person. And like, I kind of like the idea of being born and already having a criminal record. You know? Like, how you gonna have points on your license, but like you still don't have a name? I think that's pretty cool. And I was like also under the impression that in Texas every fetus is considered a gun until birth. You know, like wait, why else are they so obsessed with this? And you know, like that's in conclusion, that's kind of it. And like I will say this, who am I to tell you what is and what is not a life? Like I honestly have only been able to get through like Grey's Anatomy up to season 4, so like I don't know shit about science, you know. I don't. And I will end by saying these 2 things. 1, no man has the right to tell a woman what to do with her body, right? Right? Especially when she's pregnant. But like I also believe that if you post about your pregnancy on social media and it gets less than 100 likes, you should terminate the pregnancy. And my favorite argument from pro-lifers is like, what if your mother had aborted you, Veronica? And well, I feel like she would have finished college and might have a bigger house. So like, the bitch should have killed me when she had the chance. And you know, that's basically it. Thank you. I'm Veronica Garza.